not terrible either.
Not keen at the same time, though. Canada might be keen here. Going up against Chinese Taipei to start things off. Jimboy and Adam, good position here against Xavier and Zeno. It's not going to. This gives our teams a bit of a reprieve as to what could potentially occur in our circle settings as a whole. But also do remember as well that our red zones or hazard zones, our draft king starts off with a double here against K-Man and Adam with the M249. That's a good spray down for him to get things rolling.
All right, they didn't find India, but staying here does manage to find some damage onto Canada, finding a couple of kills. This is going to be right on the edge of this new zone that's going to be pretty much centered around Pachinki. There's a lot of dead zones going to be around it, most notably the Badlands that are going to be kind of in position a little bit more along this kind of area coming out of Sunken City or Boatyard, whatever you want to call it. Just trying to squeeze in. They might be just going for a crash right into Pachinki, but the way that India is set up, this is going to be where their defensive line is already positioned. So Chinese Taipei with no options, now being forced away. Monty's going to pick up one, and then it's just going to be running right into the other Aussies. Can they at least get a knock on it? No, Chinese Taipei is out.
Your point, the problem is that there is teams here. Norway's here to try and greet this.
Yeah, but I think that this is Ukraine's strategy. They're like, no, we'll just shoot and destroy everything. Yeah. This has got such high firepower. They're like, just play edge, wrap. Okay, we can't go west. We'll just try to kill anything. But it does look like United Kingdom has realized there's an opportunity. They are starting to maneuver over into point to see if maybe they can go after Ukraine. But Ukraine just takes down Norway so fast.
Booster ain't gonna miss those nades. Oh, what? Hakatori, hello? Okay, well, that was as quick as anything there. Fex, a little bit disappointed. Wait, they're actually jumping on that Ukraine. That's a crazy maneuver, but it actually just might work out, knowing that they're very separated. At the same time, Philippines here going up against Japan, knowing that all of these teams on the south side have to make a big move, and Japan is getting destroyed.
It's fine. All right, Denmark time to come alive as poor old Unforgiven is just trying to fight for his life over here. Can Denmark use the opportunity that he has provided to jump onto Argentina?
At the same time, Ukraine now charging up some nades, going up against Great Britain on this side of things. Nade goes forwards from T-Bone of all people against Fairist. So not too bad a start here to kind of dissuade Ukraine from being more aggressive on here, but I don't think it's going to work. I think that they are going to continue on this line of thinking completely. Gustav takes down Captain. They've been keeping a strong eye on this fight, as you mentioned before, to being able to shut this down and then take a fight afterwards wherever they may need to go is much smarter than anything else. You've got to shut down those teams backfilling you.
This is all just defense right now, and they have to be careful because, again, there is still neutral just playing off to their east. They know it, but Gustav's just doing everything that he can, secure every point, stacking up the kills right now. Argentina just down to one, about to get that res onto Capitan, but just to the south of them, Turkey's still got a player up right in the middle of it all, and there goes Argentina as he actually doesn't surrender over the blue zone, walks out, and Denmark thanks him for it.
Yeah, into the placement points to get things rolling now, so it will start stacking up. And that circle, oh my. Okay, so anybody on the west side, good luck to you. Now, the crazy thing I think for Australia is that as much as they've survived long into this game, getting your cars out of there without being shot and then making a transition will be very difficult for them of all teams on that west side.
There's just nowhere for the Philippines to go either. Denmark is using this opportunity to position to catch whoever moves out of this next. Aussies are trying to use the high ground, but it is all going to be about the firepower that the Philippines can manage to pump out. Good shot's going to come out from Gustav to get the knock on to Monty, and Australia's crossfire problems are going to continue. This setup from the Philippines is good enough to force a line right up on top of Denmark, and Australia just has to firefight their way through it. Remember, they've been loud for so long. They pissed off so many teams that the Philippines wants vengeance back. Look at the aggressive movements coming out from them.
At the same time, Levante is going crazy against Denmark in the kill feed as well, as they've actually done quite a bit of damage towards Denmark that I can kind of anticipate it. Oh no, he stepped in front of him. That's a disaster there for Philippines, but they are able to shut it down anyway. Good stuff, denying this maneuver here from Australia. And Aya does take down Gustav as well, despite the trade coming out against it here. So not bad by Denmark to try and get out of that spot, but Philippines, man, they come out as the winner on the west.
Limping into the circle right now, 2 players up, but they at least have space away from Ukraine, who just decided to massacre everything over into the east. So full-on control coming up from them. Now it's just going to be about the solo in Turkey hiding up in the middle of it all. Denmark still got Beamy alive, and Levante trying to creep his way in, but this is going to be I don't even know how you could try to survive this. There's so many people focused in. Ukraine's even got vision on the other side. Yep, just surrendered over.
No.
Now we're in our top 4.
Yeah, as much as technically there are 2 members of Ukraine outside this circle, the fact that Ukraine is starting off this strong, it's almost like the harbinger of doom. Oh, but Beamy, good shutdown here from the Philippines. 11 kills go the way of Denmark so far. Despite getting out of Pachinki, was going to be difficult. They've done well for it. But again, now they're just going to run up on this. They know exactly where he is. Celtic is not even in the tower anymore. And
They've done it on game number 1. Why are they not doing it here? We'll talk about the level of aggression. Now has the Panzer. Here's the cards. If you need a win, you need to get a Finn. But the Panzer hits though and Scab falls early.
Aya says mono to the Finns as he speaks out once more, but he's going to get taken down by Sata. He'll get one on the board, and that is an easy pickup for them.
It was about the pace, and it didn't get the momentum down. Diffix though goes up, and it's Team Australia. Blood will fall. Oh, he gets shot in the back. Luke 12 sticks it to him. He sticks it quick.
Yeah, good news for the rest of the lobby as Ukraine will lose one. Diffix is going to fall, and Luke will confirm that one out. Bustik with the nade in the hands, going to try toss it through that letterbox window, looking to catch another one, but Bustik all by himself. All he's got to do, Mark, is stay alive until the rest of Navi can get here. Navi, Ukraine.
Yeah, but everybody's going to get me, trust me. Apart from one, it's the cutter as well. Luke 12, he uses the smoke. That's going to be a bit of distraction as he does move his way forward. Looks to find himself in a position to try and take the fight. The flank comes around the other side. Hakatori does find Monty there, but Tickleton is on the higher ground. Can Hakatori find safety? Does find safety behind the car.
Yeah, Tig's got to be quick though, because he's got to help his team before he fall. But Fairest will confirm out Flood now. Luke 12 getting in the fight, and Hakatori is in that fight. Luke 12 takes a ton of distance, but Fairest gets him.
They are pushing. I love it. They're applying pressure to Team Ukraine, but they are a breed above the rest. Here comes another rotation. Comes in Malaysia on the defense, though, as they have to try and find that reposition. No, Shen did take that high ground, so he's got all the information that's needed. MT, though, has the opportunity now to back away.
Yeah, he's gone. He is out of there as Shen tries to get the off angle on the Verstery. Wants to get the point on the board confirmed, but I feel like might just be the signal to get on out of dodge. Live to fight another day in this one, as Malaysia, they'll manage to keep all 4 players up. Fairest, he made a mistake there. He could have first aided inside the sandstorm, but instead he's going to lose that Bronco. He steps up in the distance as Tiggleton, the solo for Australia, will try to get that kill on the board, but Fevin just about, well, just as I say, made it to safety. I am 5 from Kazakhstan will get that knock, and now Tiggleton, he says the Panzer out catches T-Bone, and Australia get their 2nd point mark, but here come Australia.
Yep, that's a 3-man here. They're going to try and make the push. Tickleton, though, is a 1-man army. We know that. And oh my God, he gets the back. Vex jumps down and he falls out. That's number 2 here. An Australian digging out. And Michael has to have an explosion engine. The only way to stop Tickleton, though. But that's 2 points on the board for Team Australia.
India pushing up here. K-Mine's going to fall at the hands of Snipeball, but he's traded back by Pipa not too far away. Using that DMR. Finna using the smoke for some cover now. Remember, Canada, they, of course, have a different roster this year. K-Mine stepping back in, and that's a perfect nade. That should confirm it, but DraftKings steals it away, and he steps on up and does a lot of damage. Shinboy's going to be the next to fall, and Canada in a world of trouble, and it's Argentina again. As often, Levante with a nade at the ready, but jumping on board with Ukraine now, pushing towards UK again. Michael, he's going to fall at the hands of that first nade, and that leaves Vard now as the last player standing. He's got all the Ukrainians pushing aggressively towards him here, Mark. They're going to step on in, and Ukraine are going to wipe out Team UK for the 2nd game in a row.
Yeah, 2 out of 2 here. Ukraine versus Team UK. That's nearly death for them. No, definitely, it was Australia, which I suppose dispatched of their opportunity. Philippines, though, they have been dispatched down to a single player here. Neutral only losing 2 lanes now to try and make their way down, and it's going to come in from Lou a little bit further afield, catches that one out. So Philippines fall straight after in 14th place.
What a job by Levante, though, just keeping himself alive in that fight, Mark. How many times did we see at the last PGS where if it wasn't for Levante, Vitality would have been in shambles as India are going to get wiped out by Argentina, but Levante's a heck of a player.
Correct, see. No for interviews, yes for aggression as he pushes his way forward. Levante, huge nade, he comes off the high ground, finds one, sees the opportunity, underarm though, Japan falling down. DraftKings gets Beamy though, and for the vehicle, well, Levante has a clean sweep for Team. No, I can't see him get out of here. They're going to need a massive smoke line wall here. Turkey don't need to move. They've got the high ground on them. If they played towards that south side, do we argue that sort of Norway will potentially come in with a a good couple of shots. Forget that, Malaysia's got the high ground on him as well. Komarko finds not just one, but two for the price of one, and they're finished off. Double grenades would end that. Turkey now on 8 kills as they start to climb the leaderboard. They're now in 6th.
Looking good for me. This is one of my picks for actually the fantasy, as Shilla will confirm out that final player, moving Turkey up to 9. And that leaves just 6 teams left alive. Lou, though, inside the blue, got 4 first aids left, but I think this is going to be where we will see neutral team end up on this one. Markets close to Ukraine now as well. Techers, he steps on up, he finds one. There's just 1 player left standing. I am 5. He's trying to stay alive here, but he can't. He-Man will get the kill, and there's 4 teams left alive, and it's going to be Turkey, Norway, Ukraine, and Malaysia. And Celtic's caught out, but He-Man falls as well.
Yeah, exchange out between Turkey and Norway. Turkey's looking to try and get a confirmation. Metapader hits the spray, though. Doesn't quite get any clicks dry on the 5.56, though. NC finds a little bit of safety. His head playing peekaboo over the top. Metapader has to back off and move his way around the zone. But it shifts down towards that southwest. It's okay for these teams, but they need to clear pretty quickly because Malaysia is going to go head-to-head with Team Ukraine. Or he's sweeping his way down. He's a solo ranger for Team Ukraine. That's the reason why he gets an opening. Him-Man will fall down. Sheeta finds Malaysia on the other side as he gets forced around the adjacent side. The blue zone is going to cause damage. Shen finds Sheeta, though, and the BRDM from Team Ukraine, though, is waiting for Shen to jump off to get them on over.
Remember, Norway have one of their own as well for later in the game. If they're going to need his Boostic's going to hop back inside that BRDM, and the BZ going to just start ticking away damage, forcing them into that reverse as they get a little bit closer to Diffix. Malaysia now 2 players left alive, and if Norway can deal with Turkey here, they can pick up what's left of this fight, but still Ukraine putting pressure on Mark, still moving towards the last 2 players of Malaysia.
Yeah, Turkey down to 2, but don't forget they've got the Panzers as well. So for Norway, they can't overstep. Hakatori finds them, though. Diffix now trying to make the play over. Flash comes over towards the top on the adjacent side, doesn't find the player. Now looking for him, sees the down player and doesn't see the player off, and Diffix swings because he's built different, and Shen eats dust.
He's just better now as Ukraine start turning their attention down the hill. Shen and Hector dealt with Marco. Turkey starting to put in real work as well as Norway are down to a 2. Big opportunity for Ukraine now to go back-to-back on the wings. Big spray from Boostic. He gets another, and it's all down to Code Marco here. He's driving on off, but Marco, it looks like Ukraine are going to go back-to-back.
Ukraine looking to go back-to-back, but Turkey going back-to-back when it comes down to second.
Successes in a row for them, so we'll have to see how that kind of works out. As now we've jumped over here. This is going to be the nature of the beast, as it is United Kingdom lined up against Japan. This is going to be kind of a setup of what we're going to be looking at moving forward. Is this is some much-needed points coming up from UK if they can take it down, and yep, Japan eliminated real early.
Yeah, shame.
Circle, while it does finally leave a lot of the water behind, still has a lot in it. Denmark, though, on defense. Very solid. Now it's going to be Kazakhstan just running for the fields.
One of the scariest things for these teams, you talk to them, it's always the holes at top of hills, because it's so almost impossible to scout out, and that was a casualty there for Kazakhstan because of that. Oh no, the red zone! Oh, Luke and Fex down as well here. Australia taking down Great Britain, kind of, but also having some help taking down the oppressors. Good job, Australia, against Great Britain.
Red zone coming in full effect. We haven't seen that one in a hot minute. Australia down to just Monty and Flood, but they still have to figure out how they want to get into the circle with Norway's defense. Remember, Norway is a bit more scattered across the circle, trying to get a foothold into this field position. Argentina's also going to have vision onto it, as it does look like Malaysia taking the waterfront approach might be rewarded, as everybody's got eyes into the circle at Hoppo.
Said though, now Denmark does see Australia as well as India trying to make a move on their position, but Denmark's had a great amount of time to be able to fortify this position. And Baby goes absolutely crazy once again. He has been knocked at the moment. Here comes the reinforcements though to try and deny it.
India just coming in full force right now. Denmark was not expecting it. They still got the rock cropping for control. Gustav has come up, controlled angle, but other side of this one could spell doom if this nade is cooked well, or just a couple of bullets, but Gustav buying enough time to reset this, can't get the counter knock on the nade, and India just coming up with full force and gusto has made a massive problem for Denmark, who thought that this game was under so much control of theirs.
Oh. 100%. Denmark, though, is a kind of team that wants to finish this fight fast and get those reses off. You saw instantly, as soon as those knocks came in with that nade, both players from the team started going for the res straight away, knowing that that was the perfect opportunity to be able to get them back up, realizing that they weren't going to be able to finish that fight off as quickly as they would like. That was picture perfect execution just then from Denmark. Oh my God, it's a banger. What a performance from Denmark there. Whoa.
Everybody else was hoping the fact that maybe Denmark would go down, give a reprieve to the rest of the circle, but no, high ground control pops back over to them. It is Malaysia making the push into Turkey's defended position, but they've got a little bit of a read on it. Still already down just 2 players up for Malaysia. After all the aquatic antics, they are walking right into a potential kill box. Shilla on the other side.
And at the same time, yeah, the circle shifting away from Denmark. That means that they're going to have to try and make some work of it up on that north side. They know where Finland is, so do they use that as a path to be able to try and get some kills and then move on in, or do they try and go a bit east? I think east is probably going to be the play for them. We'll see down the line. There's now Philippines here on the south side of this. These fields do give them a little bit of a reprieve. They've got some smokes down, got some emergency cover as well.
Finland can go without taking a firefight in this. That's going to feel good.
BB taking some shots. Oh, just sat there through the foliage as well. Drex goes down. BB, he takes all 3. Oh my God, Martin was right. BB is him. Oh my days.
All right, well, Denmark's got control of just about everything to the north. Norway still has a player over here, as well as Kazakhstan, and you can see that instantly turns back over to him. Denmark now flooding around the sides. Down the south, Argentina's starting to get some vision as they move up closer to the road that they were using for some level of control and safety, but it looks like Philippines going to continue to pepper in shots onto them. That means that Denmark gets more maneuverability up in the north.
Yeah, man, when you get done, you know exactly where Denmark has now moved into position, as now smokes do go down here to try and get yourself towards some of those craters. Ermak still alive here for Kazakhstan. It's been a rough 3 games for Kazakhstan to start things, and that's a good knock, though. Really nice underhand against those smoke positions. Kind of anticipated where He-Man was moving, so at least a kill on the board.
And that's big information right now for Kazakhstan because they know that they have a little bit more breathing room, and that circle pop definitely helps. Now, Ermak can provide some cover for the rest of Argentina, and well, depending on how Denmark's positioning is going to be playing. I said Ermak for Argentina. Stupid colors matching just a little bit. Apologies about that one. Now, Turkey's got to make a move in, and the Philippines as well. So both sides of the circle already available. Okay, can they line it up and time it? Well, it's going to be rolling right up. The explosion does stop it out, but that's going to be close enough. Do they even expect it? Did it get exploded?
Nope. Shot out. Shot out, shut down. Good stuff there by Turkey. Once again here, as now they're able to greet them on forwards. Captain, though, good. Let's go crazy. Starts things off against Code Marco. Can he get a little bit more done? Everybody else is knocked at the moment. There should be more Turkey reinforcements coming in and shutting this down completely. Wait, where are you going? On the left-hand side. Okay, it's in a bit of a smoke. Colored smoke. Didn't realize. It was very, very transparent. There you go, though, as he does actually spot him on out and takes him down. That is Schiller and Code Marco being able to shut out Argentina. Left, though, so now he's going to have to make a move, knowing that Mixon and the boys are going to be overlooking this position, and he sees him jump peeking as well. I think he might have just seen the top of his head there, so was shooting in that direction to be able to shut him down. He saw the transition. Surely he got to shut him down. Yes, he does.
The timing on that was almost so good for Ermak. So Turkey used the opportunity of what was going to be going on, the distraction in the north, to get right up on top of the circle. Now found themselves in a little bit of a safer point to play from. Norway, who's just been kind of hanging out right now, letting Denmark and Turkey do the work for him, is now gotten too close range. The firefights are just brewing. Have they put themselves in too pinched of a position?
Holdable shields, a lot of opportunity here. Beamy almost at the 1K club, 928 damage at the moment for Beamy, who's looking absolutely bonkers. What a performance from him in this game so far, and he continues it on. Celtic down at the moment here. Metabay did take down 8C, coming out of that shack to try and do something as well. Tekker's on the back side of it, burrowed in, but surely this is a Denmark victory match for him.
Peeking around the sides, Tekker's just trying to see if he can get anything more out of it, but Denmark just coming down full gusto. I won't even say coming down. They're just kind of sitting there, letting everybody walk into their crosshairs right now. It's just stacking up kill upon kill. Tekker sneaks around, tries to see if he can get something out of it, but the angles just aren't there. Turkey's going to take him down, but massive cost. Schiller, the last one up. 16 kills. Can he make a miracle happen against Denmark? I just don't feel it.
No, here they come, as they will be invading onto this position. Get in the rowboat, swim along. The Vikings are on their way, but Schiller, crazy stuff to get things going. 1,100 damage at the moment. He's in the blue, though. Surely it should be done. I don't think they know exactly where he is. Does he have any lethal nades? No, he doesn't. He has to come out of here, and he's gone.
Because they can. Maybe Turkey won't be able to survive this one up. They're down to a duo, and they're getting chased down. But when you're chasing Code Marco, he's got a bit of a bite.
Yeah, Marco getting shot by Aya, and Aya will find that knock onto Marco, and he's the last remaining player for the Philippines here. Couldn't get turned because of the pressure, but Celtic, the same, will try to prevent them from getting this res off. Spots the player in the open. Celtic will see Ketter steal that kill away with the bolty. Marco picked up by Ketter now too, as Denmark managing to pick up the pieces here and add to their impressive tally of 42 points.
Gets up, looking for the final shot now. That's great, the connection, but he does pick up the kill. Denmark up to 3. They hold the position, but if you see from the team, they hold multiple angles. Beamy's actually a little bit off in a scouting mission out towards that northwest. It is phase 2. And you might be hoping and finding opportunities of which way to go or where they want to apply pressure. But for the Philippines, they're also down to a solo now. And no opportunity to work its way back. Oh, K-Mine, please. No! UK out.
Yeah, Canada picking up a point there, and they desperately need them, sitting in 14th place on the leaderboard. But
that puzzled together from the south side.
Ferris spots out Scav now, gets the shots off, and will confirm out that knock. And he knows that Scav is the only player here at this point in time, so that's another point on the board for Ukraine. Bustik! IX is going to fall, man. Bustik is nuts.
Yeah, insane. And I think he goes underneath the radar because you've got Hakatori on there, right? And you've got Divix on this, but Bustik is a big hitter for Team Ukraine. Brexy, final player now for them. He's on the hold. He's got to try and find the rotation round, but they know they've got the opening. Team Ukraine will crash in. For Ukraine, I'm just going to find the final body.
Yeah, Corexy's just hiding inside the other building, and he'll just try to live his life out. But man, Bustik confirms out that kill. And I remember Bustik first coming into my radar. Remember when he used to sub in scrims for Twisted Minds years ago? Because he wasn't old enough to play competitive, so he could only play in scrims. And I remember just saying, this kid, he has everything it takes to be a big name inside of PUBG. And, well, Ukraine definitely happy he's on their team as things stand. Let's see, though, if Lou on neutral can line up a mortar exactly where he needs to for a bit later on. Maybe even just use the mark to create a dip or a hole that they can play out of a little later on. Denmark and Norway, that Scandinavian fight that we were expecting to see a while ago, is now up and running as Argentina finish off Kazakhstan. But all 4 players up for Denmark here. Norway looking to hold them at the edge of the circle as Mixon just puts down some cover so they can start climbing that, that hill towards Norway.
Yeah, Norway obviously positioned here. Denmark losing the zone. They tried to work their way around, took some shots from Argentina like Kazakhstan, but they've got to be careful. Mixon dodges the molly, has to be cautious, backs away. Ketter does find James with a grenade that might open things up now as Norway have to get the defense.
Yeah, Tekers peeks on the side, doesn't really get any damage off of note in the first one, but James is down. Molly being thrown by Ketter, but he's aware of the flank on the other side as Itzy is forced out of the dip. That great Molly will take him out of the fight, and Gustav's nade is even better. Down he falls as Gustav's nade play has been so good so far today.
Yeah, off the backboard, bounce towards Ainsley's not be good for him. James obviously is already down. Tekers on the off angle. There's a bit of a trench to try and dig his way out of, and Ketter, though, working his way through the smoke. You can see over the top of it, just trying to get the information. So you can see, fortunately for him, the rest of his team falling around. Now comes the charge forward. Beamy charges on, and Tekers, though, launches a barrage of shots towards him.
Yeah, but Beamy takes some damage in return, and Ketter's getting hit by He-Man as well as Denmark. They are up against 1 player from Norway, but he's not done fighting yet. He-Man trying to rotate away, maybe get his way to the Pika bus. Can you get there? No, Japan are starting to shoot him, and it's Goni from Japan who cleans it up, and down fall Norway on Batu on the stairs with the shotgun. Could ruin their day. Argentina, that's another knock for India. Oh no, Draft King! He flips around the wrong way, and Argentina deleted by India.
That card did not land nicely for Draft King. India defensive. I was questioning why were they not pushing down. That's because they've dug themselves a trench. Here comes Canada. It's going to be chaos. Malaysia get involved. K-Mine going to try and run him over, but he gets in the car in time and takes huge amounts of damage. And Gustav puts Finn down.
Yeah, and Finn has been knocked, but Defex actually from afar got that knock onto AJ, and K-Mind is trying to steal it by reversing into him, and K-Mind will pick up that point for Canada. Now he'll try to just drive on off. Remember that BRDM providing so much cover as Denmark start pushing their way towards the rest of Canada, trying to get more points on the board here, Mark. They know about Lou.
No, he's been sneaking his way in for a little while, and he's got the cover, the foliage. And they get away from him. Malaysia, Shen, launch your grenade out. Luke 12 caused some damage. Now they play peekaboo over the top. But what worries me here from Malaysia, it's only 1 peeking over at a time. Tickleton coming in on the other side. They're going to close their way up. They're going to get the information. Malaysia go for the rotation round. But for neutral, though, when does Lou activate?
Yeah, this is great for Lou. This is a distraction. It's going to get more placement points. Maybe even a few kills he can steal away a little bit later. Monty tossing that nade up to try confirm the down. Maybe even get Flood back up, but pushing up as Empt as he tries to just preemptively strike onto this team. Shen will find one. Empt steps into cover. Tingleton finding himself in a world of trouble. More damage being dealt as Luke 12 steps up. He gets that knock. And Lou steps up now and he falls.
Oh, it's so close. He saw so many dead bodies in front of him. So many points potential, but Lou will go down. Shen, though, final player here from Malaysia for Team Australia. They're down to Luke 12. They have the opportunity to try and get the res. No other team can sort of sweep their way around. Japan is waiting in the wings, but when does Fevin take to flight and take the north side?
Yeah, but look, Luke has delayed this res for so long that it's allowed Shen to wrap around the other side, and Luke 12 will get one kill confirmed. Shen finds Flood now. He's in that 1 versus 1 while Monty steps behind the tree to get the first aid, but this is Australia very slow on it, Mark.
He's got one clip as well. 41 bullets from Shen. There's 2 bodies from Australia in front. The flash comes over. He doesn't need one. He's got a half a clip. 21 shots. And Shen put Australia down. Versus 2. Can Denmark hold off the barrage from Japan?
Yeah, Ketter still alive, as is Beamy, so you've definitely got 2 players who can pull off an upset, but for Denmark, top of the leaderboard, they're looking for that knock. Beamy stays in the fight, 5 HP, but didn't dip away just yet, and maybe he's going to punish for it. Goni, he's going to find one in Japan.
Norway in front of him. I think that should be fine, but I don't know. James, he's got goals, and it's going to be Carl Marco down. Turkey does get vengeance, though.
You gave me that like a weather report. Turkey with a little bit of Norway ahead. and now a little bit of Norway is down, unfortunately, there for James. Unfortunate casualty to take as the rest of Norway is rotating on past. I don't really think they want much of this fight, though. Although that said, that's good shots here from 80 and Techers. They do take down Code Marco and Celtic, so maybe they can get the blue chip back on the board. The only problem is that's a very west circle shift onto this beach line. That's going to cause some problems here for these teams.
It's your time, Malaysia. Find you another boat. Big opportunities in front of you as Philippines looking down on Canada. Canada going for the early game aggressions are going to get punished for it yet again. Philippines high ground just too strong. 2 players already down. Can't quite get the third. There it goes. That is just Philippines on top.
That's a full wipe from Aya. 4 kills for him. Look at him, he's smiling, he loves it. Being the case here, Mixon takes some shots against the UK. Ketter takes down Michael. It's already Great Britain losing someone very early, but T-Bone responds. Not bad.
I mean, neutral just forced Great Britain over into this angle, and Denmark was trying to set up around it, but couldn't really get as much of it as they wanted to. It's getting a lot more dicey over into the northeast. As you can see, even Malaysia is going to be rotating back behind this. Might choose to go for a 3rd or 4th party, as there is just nowhere for Great Britain to go, just 1 up. And look, neutral still on the hunt. They're getting involved in this, now starting to take shots at both sides of it. I don't even know where UK can go.
No, this is a tough one. Oh, no. Goodbye, Great Britain. It's, okay, my heart bleeds. Anyway, moving on. We've got ourselves the opportunity here for as India does get that circle shift into what is an extremely large compound. I wouldn't even call it a compound, right? It's like very separated across one another. It can be difficult to defend, but there's a lot of open area around it. So if teams move in alongside you, you've got an opportunity, a window to shoot at them. But usually you would expect a team to move in on the south side of that compound.
There's one he's trying to hold. Finland's now going to be coming in a little bit more for center play, and it's going to be on to Kazakhstan to defend.
Marco, not bad things against Scav at the moment on the other side of this here as Vastori tries to... no, I can't tell if he got run over there, but it will be Sata that actually finished him off. Hobber trying to deal with a little bit of this aggression coming out from Finland at the moment, shooting through some of this foliage as well. Simply confined with the barrel. A little bit blow for blow at the moment. Not really a full shutdown, but on the other side of things, neutral is gone. And basically having them cover you. Multiple teams having that fight on down. That's a great nade coming forward here. Pippa will shut down Allen Bots as well. And seeing what they can get done, trying to get into this shack, knowing that on this north side, it will give them a bit of a reprieve from some of the firefights that are going down. They see in the distance as well. Philippines still on the warpath. I feel like Philippines is always fighting, and Beamy's got something to say about that. separate one. As you can see them here now moving in alongside Turkey, who does get a bit of a run over, but he is shut down. Crawl back, get that res off. The shots are coming in, and it's not quick enough on the
from Japan. They read how the cover was going to present for them, knew the fact that they could get it away from Australia, creeping forward as they go. Norway's been a lot more hot and heavy, having to just kind of roam around back behind all of it, but Aitzi's going to go down. Defense for Australia on the other side quite strong, but the Aussies still got to get in this circle.
Big take with 3 at the moment for Australia, trying to pull them up by the bootstraps. As now Ukraine, Fairest, does completely dismantle India on that northern side. I think if you're India, I think you're cowering in your boots as well. Just try and stay away from Ukraine as long as possible. See if you can maybe heal in the blue, I don't know. Beamy's doing just that, just in true Bloomy fashion. But India's gone, dying off to the blue.
Big push for Australia. If they can get the knocks onto Japan, this could be massive for them. But Kazakhstan now starting to do some defense of territory. It was going to be very close. So Australia's position that they were playing for more vulnerable than they thought from a more active Kazakhstan. Circle is popped, and it is very favorable to Turkey's position as well as Ukraine, which is a big problem for everybody else. Remember, we still have the road that cuts through and that big drop off into the eastern section. So everybody on high ground is going to be fighting amongst themselves while everybody else is fighting in the lower section.
Definitely a toughie. Like, the fact that, as you say, that road intersects still means that there is going to be a real big problem later on in this game for sure. That said, though, are we on a path for Ukraine 3 wins on the day? It might be the case here if they're able to continue to control that western side. Tiggleton here, though, pushing up against Japan. Finally, they do end up taking this fight. Monty also take down Sunny side up. Can they just keep sweeping? Yes, they can. Japan dismantled just like that.
Okay, Australia is starting to get more focused in the Argentina line, and now it is going to be Ukraine making the push on top of Turkey. This is going to be a dangerous step down, and that is going to be Hakatori down right on the cusp of positioning on the crater. Just enough with the way that the circle is set. Ukraine still has to move, but let's not forget there's a player for Norway over here that could creep up and be a third party at the worst time for Ukraine.
Yeah, can Turkey completely scupper any potential strength that Ukraine would have had? It's looking like it right now, as Hakatori being down. I mean, there was just no sound cues against Medabay there. They have to make a move. Look how flat this area is in the middle, though. Oh.
I mean, this is the time to do it with Ukraine being a bit more distracted.
There it is.
Finland comes alive. Korexi gets down too. The Aussies with their focus on Argentina are punished. Here comes Chinese Taipei. They've realized, and it is now just Korexi looking back up. He gets another one. Can he make it to safety? Oh, finally goes down.
What a heartbreaker for Australia, not realizing what was going down here. Swami causing problems. And now here Turkey pops up once again here against Ukraine. One already knocked. Busic, though, doing tons of damage against them alongside Fairist. Schiller finally gets rid of Tekkas on the backside of it here. Chinese Taipei might have a huge lifeline by which to finish off this game here. Even though they're in a really, really bad position here against where Chinese Taipei is set up. And, of course, Schiller, the absolute assassin of Turkey, is still alive, but it's not going to be enough here. He gets put down now, and the rest of Ukraine. But the problem is Chinese Taipei surely knows exactly where they're moving. Yes, they do. But Diffex starts things off with the M249. It's huge from Diffex.
Okay, that was the point man up in front. That's way more space. And look at Ukraine. They realize that they've got this ridgeline that they can now play on the counter side. The center dot is in the middle of this road, so it's going to be jockeying for position between the two. But Ukraine feels like they've got so much control over this angle, and they have been locked into position. They are pissed.
The confidence is overflowing now from Ukraine, and not only did they weather the storm on that west side, they flexed out. Upchen is down as well. It's all on Munland to try and do something here. Chinese Taipei, a good rally back in this game, a good rally back in the fight, but it does not matter when Ukraine looks this crazy.